What's up guys, Wannabedo here with yet another color grading tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how you can grade footage using Red Giant Software Magic Bullet Looks. Now, it's very easy to get caught up with using presets, but like I always say, the best preset is the one you make. Presets aren't a magic fix to every footage that you can throw at it. And that's the one thing I noticed no one ever talks about. The one thing no one ever says about presets. For example, you can take a preset that was meant for a scene that was taken in the daytime and you can apply it to a footage of an indoor scene that was lit naturally with sunlight through the window. The preset will not act the same as advertised. You are literally handcuffed with what that preset was meant for. And in this case, it was meant for sunny outdoor scenes. Unless, of course, you know how to mess with the parameters. And in order to do so, you have to know what each tools within those parameters does, what the options can do individually. So recapping this impromptu disclaimer, one preset will not fix all footage. Once again, the footage was provided by Moises Batista using the Canon 5D Mark IV, recording video at full DCI 4K with 8-bit 422 chroma sampling, which, like I've always said, does help with color grading, with a nice deep color grade. The higher the bit, the deeper you can get. Now let's dive in and see the power of Magic Bullet Looks, just using the basic. Now I went ahead and applied the RGB curves effect to correct the lights and darks of the footage. Here is a before and after, which I hope you guys can see given the YouTube compression. So let me just highlight this and then go to effects and effects control, and there it is. So here's you're actually looking at the after. Here is the before. So just technically getting it right, you know, to bring the white down and the darks up to 10 here on the IRE levels. These are the IRE numbers here on Lumetri scopes. Even though we're not using Lumetri, Lumetri. We're not using Lumetri, but this is the scope I use to see if my whites are too blown or if my darks are too dark. Now, it's been a while since I've used Magic Bullet Look, so I'm getting back into this as I record this tutorial, so please bear with me. So let's just start here. Okay, I'm gonna highlight the clip. Very important to do that first, otherwise you're just selecting an effect and applying it to nothing. Just gonna type out Magic Bullet Look. There we go. Last time we used Colorista. We're going with Looks. Double click on that and then head on over to effects control, and here you'll see that you can actually apply a look and then mess with the strength. That's always good. You can put this on a adjustment layer, but I've noticed, and I don't know if anyone else has out there, that when you do so, you don't get what I call a live reference to the footage you're adding it to. So if I go let's say to the point of the footage where there is a runner here, and then I go to edit look, you can see the runner. However, if you set the playhead to that on an adjustment layer, you would get a reference clip of the video from the beginning. It's really weird. I don't know if anyone else has had that problem. Okay, so moving on. Here is the user interface for Magic Bullet Looks, and now we can go here to the left and mess with the presets, or you can go here and create your own from scratch, but you really have to know what you're doing and what all these can do for your footage. So here we have subject, matte, lens, camera, and post. Now for the purposes of this tutorial, I am going to choose a preset here that complements the colors that are on the reference clip here. But I'm going to adjust the parameters myself. Hence the disclaimer in the beginning of the video. I'm going to cycle through this and I'm going to see, what will work for this footage. A lot of green on that one. Definitely will not be using the teal and the orange and teal color grade, because that has been overused. Let's go to Blockbuster Warm. It's a sunny day. There should be some orange. Okay, wait, that's too much orange. You notice how presets are always a starting point. Always treated as a starting point, not the end result. A lot of stuff going overboard. So I'm gonna go with this one. There's a blooming effect caused by the diffusion here. If I turn it on and off, you can actually see it. That's on, that's off. And it makes the day look hazy. Usually, sometimes an abundance of sun can actually do that to the day. Hue and saturation. Turn that on and off. Very slight. Very slight. We can actually exaggerate a little. So here is at 110. I'm gonna go 10 above that. And it does make a small difference. Keep your eye on the flowers, because that's where you see the difference mostly. And the jogger shirt. Okay, now we got dual tone. Let's see what this is affecting. Okay. The flower. It's actually toning the flower down a bit to an acceptable level. So I'm going to leave that as it is. So far it's just the saturation that I messed with. This is actually bringing, I see it's messing with the luminance of the hue and saturation. And in this case, since we didn't bother with the hues, it is messing with the luminance of the saturation. Yep. And of course, the curve. Curve is a very powerful tool. It could make it look very punchy, like so, which is what I want really. So I'm going to bring this down. And you notice by doing that, for some reason, I don't know if you can see that, by doing that, the flowers are popping out more. I'm going to swing this a little more towards, there you go. Now because of that, I'm going to go back to hue and saturation and bring this down to maybe 100. See where that gets us. That actually works. Now there is an art form there's an art in color grading where you don't have to use that much color. So what happens when I go down to 50? Let's go up to 75. I like to do things in increments of either 10s or 25s. Turn it on and off. So if you like that vibrant look to your film, you got to make sure that the rest of your film, or the rest of your video, is just as vibrant. And you can run the risk of getting things wrong, pretty much. So I'm gonna go with the slightly desaturated look. Let me mess with this. That's terrible. Can I undo? Yes, I can. Okay. So that basically messes with the midtones, looks like. Because if I bring this down, that actually looks good. So all about experimentation. That's actually not bad. Let's mess with the diffusion a bit. The size is 10. The grade is 2. Usually the grade, if you really mess with it, I'm gonna add 3 more. Watch what happens to the there you go. There's your dream look. You can mess with a combination of grade and size, because if I took this and brought it down to 5, it kind of well, there it is, size. It shrinks down the not the amount of, I don't think, but the literal effect. So I'm gonna bring that up to 10, but bring this down not to 2 but to maybe 2.5. Can I do that? So the diffusion's a little more than before. See, without it, it just looks dull. I don't know. Let me know. Okay, and hey, this is my go-to thing. A lens vignette. Everybody loves a lens vignette. Whether it's slight or not, it really does work. The circle here is at 50%, but the amount is also at 50% too. So I usually increase it to like about 75. And then increase the circle a bit. And then turn it on and off to see if it's something you like. The highlight to 50. I'm going to bring it up to 100. So that way the highlights won't be affected by, or is that a 0? See, we do 0. There you go. So the highlights won't be as affected by the vignette. It does add a little style, but also with a vignette, much like a blur, tilt shift, or iris blur, you can actually force the audience to focus on what you want them to. If it wasn't done in production to an acceptable level, usually it's planned in production to do so, but if it wasn't done at a level where it's effective, you can do it in post, like I did here. You can draw the attention some more, by bringing it in, or increase the circle to bring it out a little more, and people usually go with that look for the entirety of the film. In this case, this is the best way for this clip, at least. This is the best set to use here. I added a lens vignette, I mess with the diffusion, I mess with the hue and saturation. And then you got, of course, colorista here with the luminance. I left this alone because it works. You can also mess with the exposure up here, which I really didn't want to, but let's, curiosity always kills the cat, and effectively as well sometimes. So that's plus 10.10. Let's do plus 40. Let's get dumb. Yeah, it's easy. Doesn't really do it for me. So we're gonna keep it at 0, and of course I mess with the curve to make it more, to give it that punch, to make the darks dark and the whites white. Here is where it's darks, and a little above here is the shadows, in the middle is the midtones, the white, and right here is the highlights. But because we already messed with the RGB curves here in the background, I don't know if you can see it, we've already done that. There's no need to do it here as well, because then it'll make everything look weird. So I'm going to press the check mark, and there it is. Now, remember when I made reference to this strength number here, we can actually decrease that if this is too strong. So let's start out with 50, and then turn it on and off to see if it's something we like. Sometimes you hit the nail right on the head, and in this case, 50% actually works for me. It really does. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on proxy, and so I can, see how this looks like. right now I'm just looking at colors, and I'm looking at the vignette and just pretty much seeing how that plays out, and it works well for this clip especially. Well, voila. I hope you guys took something away with this one. I hope you walked away with a little bit of knowledge of how powerful Magic Bullet looks can be, and knowledge of the presets and how to manipulate the tools within the preset to get your own look and not just go with the preset itself and call it a day. I mean, it doesn't work that way. Presets are not usually meant for click and done, especially when you apply it to the wrong kind of footage, which is a thing that you have to look out for. So I hope you guys learned a little something. I hope. That's why I do this. Hope you guys learned a little something, and that, yeah, Magic Bullet looks, Red Giant Software, they have great software tools for color grading and, just getting that cinematic look. But it's not just these tools, it's also what you do in production. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, if you want to see more, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you can. If you like, subscribe. That'd be great. And I'll see you next time.